brushing down the front of her jumper as if she'd eaten a pastry. "Time to bring your case upstairs, I suppose?" "It's a bag and my school satchel." "Your bag and satchel, then." "Can I have 5 minutes?" I said. "On my own?" "In here?" I nodded. She didn't shut the door when she left, so I closed it. But I could hear she hadn't gone downstairs. I waited. Sure enough, her voice, sounding as though she had one side of her face pressed to the door. "What would you like for tea, Jackie? I've made a shepherd's pie." She'd done both question and answer. "Shepherd's pie would be lovely," I said. And this time she went downstairs. I could imagine Bobby's face. "That's better. Well done." I sat on the bed and looked at the walls again. Chapter 2. 2 weeks earlier, Friday the 26th of March. I could see from outside our terraced house that Dad hadn't opened the front room curtains. So even though a perfectly decent spring sun nosed at the windows, it hadn't been invited in. I turned my key in the door, then listened before I stepped into the hall, bending to pick up posts Dad hadn't bothered with. His size 11 shoe print had marked the brown envelopes. So, he'd been out then. No need to wonder where. Envelopes with windows. The ones he hated most. I often had to rescue them from the bin and iron them hard with my hands, in case he was making things worse for himself. And for me. "Dad!" I called, hanging my blazer on the banister. "Happy Friday!" Eileen, who sat next to me in English, had told me that when she walked home from school, she could hear her dad yelling while she was still 4 or 5 doors away. "Yelling about what?" I'd said. "How long have you got?" she'd said. But Mrs. Collingworth told us to stop chatting or we'd be kept in at break. And was she boring us? Which would be better, I'd asked myself then. A yelling dad, or the silent dad temporarily poleaxed by whiskey. Silent in the way a gas attack is silent until it snaps at your lungs. I peered around the door of the front room where, alongside the 2 armchairs, coffee table and telly, Dad had recently shoehorned in the double bed he used to share with Mum. Beside the bed was one of a pair of side tables on which Mum used to put homely lamps. The lamps in the other side table now formed part of a messy pile that sat in our creaky lean-to at the back of the house. I missed those lamps. The front room stank. Kind of smell you get when you've left washing to ferment in a basket for 3 days. He was face down on the bed, his bulky frame vanquished by the drink. On his face and off his face at the same time. He had his shirt on but no trousers, only grey Y-fronts. The usual late afternoon uniform. At first I thought he was awake, but then he snored, suddenly, like an engine being revved. The customary glass sat stickily on the side table beside the customary bottle with an inch of whiskey left in it. That would be his first request then, once he woke up, and I'd be down at the off-licence begging for credit again, trying to pretend I was 16. I left the front room and relocated to the kitchen. I had English homework, and perhaps half an hour's peace. I sat at the tiny drop-leaf table with a teacup of orange squash and 2 cream crackers spread with Blue Band margarine, writing a composition with the title, A Day at the Seaside. We were studying literature about places. In English. My story probably wasn't what Mrs. Collingworth expected. The little boy getting buried in sand by his sisters and them forgetting about him while they paddled. But some days, you're not in the mood for ice creams and donkey rides. The parents had just discovered that the raised shape in the sand was their son when Dad woke up and announced his return to the land of the conscious by lobbing a bottle at the tiled fireplace. I scrabbled underneath the sink for the brush and dustpan. Dustpan, but no brush. That's the story of your life, I said to myself. Dustpan, but no brush. Chips, but no fish. Dad, but no mum. Bed, no rest. Crackers, but no cheese. And even the Blue Band was suspect. Later, when I came back from the off-licence with 2 bottles of whiskey, Dad poured a full glass and drank it all down.